Hey guys, happy Friday and welcome to your Fridays in your Maxillary week. As you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but it's loud here. I'm in Miami. I'm at the Fontainebleau Hotel as part of the Aspen Conference, which is the American Society of Neuroscience and Pain. And I'm very happy I'm here, one of the faculty, so we're helping others learn about what we do in medicine, in pain management, interventional pain management, and there's a lot of the things here that are available that have to do with our topic today, which is artificial intelligence. So let's chat about that. I'm Dr. Myrdalis Diaz. I'm the creator of the Maxillary Mastermind, which is a mastermind for physicians who want to learn about entrepreneurship. And we also have the Design Your Physician Life podcast. And this week we inaugurated our YouTube channel where you're going to be able to see all the Facebook Lives that we've had until now over a year that we've had this service. And we're going to be growing that list of all the podcasts. And we are going to be changing soon from our just audio version of our podcast to also have the video version so that you can see us having that conversation for you. And I hope that you can hear what I'm telling you because it's really loud. I was trying to look for an area which was a little bit quiet, and I'm right now, I think, between 2 or 3 DJs right here at the pool. Yes, just talking to you. Anyways, so let's dive into what we're going to be talking about today, which is first the importance of AI in medicine. And why is important AI in medicine? Because it's going to come not only to facilitate what we're doing in medicine, it's really invading every single aspect of what we're doing in medicine, from the research aspects of medicine to our clinical aspects to all that travel of that patient to our office is really important. And we have to make sure that the data that's being produced, that the data that's being sustaining all these models is accurate. And not only that the data is accurate, it's currently being used accurately, it's currently being used in ways that make sense for our patients and our communities. And also, hey Kate, and also that we have ways to protect that data and to protect those users and to protect the end person at the end of that chain of events, who's our patient, right? So it's very important that we engage ourselves in healthcare. So how can we do that? There's opportunities, you can name it. There's opportunities from the aspects of research, from clinical research. There's research at different areas that can be done, even from the programs that we're having. A lot of it, I know we're all very excited about using ChatGPT, OpenAI, and things that produce not only for our blogs or pods at our podcast, for things that we use in our offices. But there's a lot of things that are happening that will affect directly those patients. So right now we are using apps that also, for example, scribe for us. So an opportunity right there would be for you to use these apps and then evaluate them and send feedback to the companies that are doing that, right? Or you can get involved directly with the companies that are really designing these particular devices, particular apps. They're designing programs that are really affecting all that. So those are a lot of opportunities available. I actually go in detail for all of these, or a lot of them, in our podcast, Design Your Physician Life, that we released these last Tuesday. So I invite you to go and check it out. Check it also out in our YouTube channel that just came out this week. So in terms of opportunities, I'm talking here at the, as I said, at the Aspen Convention, American Society of Neuroscience and Pain. And we do have physicians who are really involved in what's happening. So, for example, we have a friend who has a program that is expected to improve the efficiency of a patient when they go through the operating room and that whole process. We had another friend who actually years ago created an app where there's all these lists that happen when a patient comes for trauma surgery. And obviously when you come for trauma surgery, there's a lot of intensity to that experience coming to trauma surgery, and when a patient is bleeding, you don't want to forget anything. So in that case, for example, this particular physician had the idea, if I develop this list and it have these protocols right there available where I don't want to skip a step, I don't miss something for that patient, this program, this type of help will assist me with making sure that that patient is taken care of. And that was produced by a physician. If you don't have these ideas yourself, like these two physicians have had, you can then contribute by maybe using them and then reporting back. You can teach others after you use them how they can be used so that they can be implemented into their practices. You can help systems to get these therapies, they're not therapies yet because they have to be FDA approved for that, but this type of technology into their systems. The other thing that you can do that's very important in terms of opportunities is talking about regulation. Regulation is something that, even though it should be like in front of us, we're usually a society that likes to see what happens and then react. So instead of prevention, we're like a little bit more reactive. But it's very important that if you're a physician who really likes to be involved in the law, to be involved in how regulation is made, is developed, this is the time for you to do that. And AI produces a great opportunity for us to get involved in that. The other thing is that, how can we do that? So in medicine, we can have, if you have the potential impacts of where this technology is going to go, it's going to change everything. It's already changing the way, for example, in our offices, the way that we see our patients. So we can produce information for our patients that's going to affect them even before they become a patient, when they're potential patients. So we're seeing changes from marketing, for example, for a clinical office, and the information we're providing them, how the same things that you're seeing here, a lot of it is going to be eventually produced and modified in some way by what artificial intelligence is providing us. And then you see how the patients are, even the calls are answered to them, how their data is taken in their offices, how treatments are provided. All those are areas. So how can you do that? Ways to do that, as I said, getting involved in any of these areas. I do want to thank, before I forget, my team, because it's such a special week for us with the release of our podcast. Our podcast in YouTube channel. So so Shandia and Miguel and Tomas and Anna, you've been great, wonderful, doing that for Max Allure Mastermind and Design Your Physician Life, and I want to thank you. If you're watching this, please do #live, #replay, so that you can share with others. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, it is Max Allure Mastermind. That is MAXALLURE. So that website is maxallure.com, and the YouTube channel is Max Allure Mastermind. And why do I tell you about this? Actually, we're gonna have soon, we're planning to have a Max Allure AI Mastermind for physicians who want to learn about these techniques. Why can we do that? Because through the years, we're in a position, my team, our team, we're in a position where we've been involved in a lot of technology. And from my earlier years, I used to program in C++ and Pascal, so technology has always been a part of my journey. And now seeing where the opportunities and the things that we really should do in terms of how we best use these tools to help and advance healthcare with all the changes that are coming, it's a responsibility to be able to understand them, and we've chosen to do that. And we've chosen to also teach others about what the opportunities for them are. So if you want to retake and remain in control of your physician life, it's going to be very important that you learn that. And in our case, we're going to be having that part of that program very, very soon. And I hope that you can join us. So I'm not going to go in detail into all the importance of AI, the opportunities, and how physicians can get involved, because I want you to go and listen to the podcast. But to recap, to review, there's right now a big shift. They call it the big shift that's going to happen not only in healthcare, it's going to happen in the whole society. And right now, that shift is being led by people who are not physicians, who have not taken care of those patients. So that's where we come into the game, right? So we have the opportunity to get involved. And believe it or not, the people who are taking the lead, they really want to have physicians involved to give them input of how their techniques can best and their tools can be best used. So I invite you, all of you, to go and listen to that podcast, listen to which aspects hold your attention, and then get involved in artificial intelligence at some point, not only as a user, because users, we're all going to be users, but really be somebody who's involved in some part of the process, either by educating, which is what we're trying to do here through this channel and through all the interviews that we're having. We're also using as well, we're trying to modify and we're trying to give feedback. If you are somebody who really likes to do the part of more the advocacy, then be that, because not every programmer, right, and not every venture capitalist and not every person who's creating these programs really has the input and the understanding of what needs to happen that will make sense for our patients and our communities. Remember, we want physicians to be engaged, to be leading, and this is a big opportunity. And don't wait, because the way things are moving are really, really fast. For example, to give you an example of how ChatGPT is moving, like within a month, they were able to change their response from not answering or from not surpassing 90% of the people who were taking the bar for the law to be surpassing over 90% of them in just 1 month. So that's how fast these things are moving. The other day I was in a room with a patient. We were testing one of these programs that scribes. So I sat there with the patient and I have the scribing program with me, and we both were somewhat upset about the whole process, because the truth is that as these tools advance, as they're educated, for example, scribing it will not be needed. And that's only one small aspect. And we were there both thinking, about all those, for example, future medical students who want to go to scribe, so that they get to learn that process, and they get to learn how we think and how we get to an assessment and a plan for a patient before even getting to medical school. And they might not have that opportunity because of artificial intelligence. On the other hand, because of artificial intelligence, now we have the opportunity to get efficiencies for our office, which is so important, right? As a physician, we're overwhelmed with all the paperwork, and these tools have been able to solve that huge problem. And if you see the number one problems of physicians for 2023, that's one of them, right? The documentation, how much it's been expected from us in terms of documentation. So if we're there with somebody who's a computer, and the cost is going to be very low for this, we have to understand that. And if we have somebody who's doing that, in this case, not somebody, is something, which is the tool for this artificial intelligence tool, then that part is taken care of. So that burden is taken care of physicians. However, that patient and myself were very saddened, because we've seen scribes before and not having the presence of the scribe. I remember at the time when we didn't have any scribes, and the question was, how can I have the patient accept the scribe in the room with me? And I've been doing this for over 20 years, so we had the times where the documentation was manual, then it went to a computer, then that computer was so much burden that we had to bring the scribes in, which was a wonderful addition. We had the transition from the pencil, the pen, the computer, and then having the scribe there as part of the team, and recognizing that we might not have them soon, and then all those who want to go to medical school, they might not have that experience. That was really a shock for both of us. So that's only one area. Other areas is what we're doing in terms of defining who our patients are, how we reach them, and all the people that are not going to be necessarily writing for us anymore, those programs or those the marketing input. Or if we want to really, if I'm passionate about writing, if you're a physician who's passionate about writing, now you can, and you don't have the time to do this because you have to take care of your patients and your business, then you have some tools, right? To be able to perfect your writing. You get ideas from ChatGPT, then you go to something called Quillbot, and you make it better, and then you put it in your own voice. And you can get, with these tools, you can get the ideas, you can get a lot of the writing, you can get scripts done, and believe it or not, you can teach an artificial intelligence tool to look like you, to sound like you. That's all available. So think about the big shift that's going to happen, and in healthcare, we must be part of that. The other thing, looking at ChatGPT again. If I go there and then I write a lot of information and a long question about a patient, without always remember that all these tools, one thing that I'm recommending is that people really go and read the terms, because all these terms you must read. They're new, everything's new. That you don't put any information within these tools. But if you are creating, you have a question about something that you haven't experienced, or you want to confirm something, or you want just to test the system, right? And you go to ChatGPT and you put a case that you've seen recently and you want some ideas about that case, you put all that there, and then you get a lot of information. It might happen that the information that you get is right. It might happen that the information you get is completely wrong. It might happen that it's something in the middle. So as physicians, we must learn that, because guess what? We're not the only ones putting that information in the charts or in ChatGPT. Everybody around us is going there. Remember Dr. Google? Now we have Dr. ChatGPT. So why do you have to get involved as a physician? Not to get irritated by it, but just really to learn, to modify, and to be part of the change and see where you can make things better for the patients around you and for yourself, for your practice. So I wish you good luck. This is a very exciting process right now. We have in our podcast, Design Your Physician Lab, we have tons of interviews coming around this topic with artificial intelligence. I hope that you can see them. If you don't, go and subscribe to the Design Your Physician Live podcast itself. Now you have a YouTube channel where you're going to have not only the podcast, you're going to also have these Facebook Lives where you can also learn. And please visit our website, maxsalary.com, because we're going to have, as I said, we're going to have our next Max Salary Mastermind for physicians who want to learn about entrepreneurship coming in August. And we also have, soon we're going to have a maxsalary.ai site where we're going to be also teaching you. We're going to have a mastermind for artificial intelligence. And I hope that you can join us. We'll see you then. You have a great week. As you can see, I'm having really a great time here at the Aspen Conference at the Fontainebleau in Miami this week. And we'll see you then.